which is actually Eligio's wife, Natureboy's actual wife.
That's deep.
She came in and she spoke. Yeah, she spoke on her end. First and foremost, before we get started, and we're gonna get your backstory and stuff like that. But what are your thoughts on those two interviews, just off the rip? You know,
Man, my first thought was just a whole lot of capping going on. I felt like Velvet was just speaking on one-sided aspect of. She wasn't really giving her involvement of the story. She was just giving Natureboy her involvement with Natureboy, but she wasn't really telling like her deep involvement and how she even got there, why she was there. You know, what her purpose was. You know, so I felt like she should have went in depth and more in that. As well as Solar too. I felt like Solar always capping. So I feel like he should have just kept it real. I don't think he kept it real about none of that. Like he brought her out as his wife, all that. Like, man, stop it. You got a wife already. She got a husband already. Let's keep her gangster. Let's keep her real.
What's the most on the interview?
On that interview?
yeah, out of one of the two of them.
Oh, man, it was so much.
So full of,
It was so much.
capping.
No, for real. I would have to say she acted like she didn't want to be there. The part where she acted like she didn't want to be there and she was being forced to be there.
Yeah,
I
throughout.
felt like all that, because I felt like when I was there, she had plenty of days that she could have just been like, I'm out.
Hey guys, everything that could have went wrong with this commentary video did today. But I was not going to do it tomorrow. I said the devil's a lie, and I'm going to make sure that I get this out today. I had looked at the interview that Shaka did on Real Life Productions, and I had the utmost respect for him because when I saw that he was going to be on the interview, I knew that he was going to be transparent. I knew he was going to keep it 100, and I knew he was going to, like he said, tell you who the ones that were capping, including Velvet and Solar and a few other people that he named. I knew that when they did this interview with him, we would get a more in-depth behind the scenes of what we don't see when the camera goes off, of what is going on, what is being done, what is being said, and what is the lie and what is the truth. And I'm just so glad that they asked him to be on this interview to keep it real so that the public knows what's going on.
She may seem like it was Jurassic Park or something.
Even if they had your paperwork, you can go get another birth certificate. You can go, if it's that serious, if it's that bad, I'm going to get another one. They make copies of them things. Like,
her escape story was though something for the movies though. Like, you know, from what she told us, it was like a harrowing escape.
Maybe in her mind though, that might have happened in her mind. You know, we wasn't there. We can't visualize or feelize what somebody else went through. You know what I'm saying? So maybe in her mind it was like that. But in my mind, when I was watching it, I had the popcorn like.
So was there anything
Go ahead.
what was the realest shit that they said in there? That
The
actually
really was that they went over there fucking with Natureboy. They went over with a nigga who had a mission.
Yeah, that happened, goddamn.
That happened.
Now, the interview was really long. It was almost 3 hours. I had to look at it for 3 hours. That's why right now I'm just now getting to it because it was really, really long. But I wanted to get some of the important parts. I wanted to look at the whole interview because I wanted him to confirm a lot of things that I knew that he was going to confirm. And the things that needed to be cleared up that could have been a lie, he also did that, and I respect him for that. But one thing that stuck out with me that is not a surprise to me, and I already knew that it was a setup from the gate. You know, it's called a scorned woman. And when a woman's scorned, sometimes we tend to do things just to get rid of someone because it's like, if I can't have you, nobody else is going to have you. But what stuck out of my mind, because he said it at the beginning of this interview, was that basically Velvet was lying about wanting to leave Natureboy. And a lot of us really believed towards the end that Velvet was a victim. That Velvet was forced to be married to this demonic, which I'm not saying he's not demonic, but Velvet was forced to be married to this demonic force, which we know that that's further from the truth. See, we sometimes get mixed up in the recent lies, and trying to deceive people. And we forget about how if Velvet was able to stay with Nature Boy and have him to herself, she wouldn't be up here saying any of these things that she allegedly was saying, like forced marriage. She couldn't leave because of her passports and birth certificates and all this off the wall, crap. I'm just glad that Shaka had confirmed that it was all cap. Any of the Carbonation members that were at Carbonation had the right at any time to leave. I don't care, and I have to sometimes check myself. I don't care if they would have been put on the side of the road at any time, they were allowed to leave. Velvet did not want to leave. Velvet thought every day, like a lot of women do when they're in toxic relationships, that the relationship's going to get better. And sometimes it gets better for some women and sometimes it doesn't. It never got better for Velvet. Okay? And I feel as though and Shaka felt the same way, that if Velvet was going to get up here and do an interview, at least don't tell your side of what you saw of the whole relationship and what he did to you. Tell the whole story, because there were a lot of people there. There were many witnesses. There's a lot of people that don't like Velvet, and trust and believe, if Shaka didn't say what he said now, it would have ultimately came out later. So either way, I'm not surprised of what Shaka said. I'm not surprised that Shaka even said it at the beginning of the video, because obviously it resonated with him in a real distasteful way, because he probably thought that she would at least be a woman at this point. And because, she's now pregnant with Solar's baby, obviously, well, we would think that she got over the Nature Boy, that she would just come clean with her side of the story and what was really going down with her and Nature Boy, and not put on this facade like she was a victim. She was far from a victim, right alongside with the women that are still there over there in Carbonation. But of course, again, like Shaka said, Velvet was all cap. I think he tried to give her a little bit more credit than she really deserved. And I think the reason why he brought this up at the beginning of the interview was because he was kind of disappointed in how far Velvet has taken this. And a lot of brothers, this is just in real life. I'm quite sure we have brothers, nephews that have girlfriends or wives or whatever who have done this to them on a regular basis. And some of these dudes are not even getting out of jail because of these allegations, these false allegations that are made up on them on a daily basis, because a woman is scorned, doesn't want to see another woman with that man, and they make up allegations, not realizing that it can really harm that person. And it's really sad that she's still scorned like that. It just really also further lets me know that this is a storyline, and it's so sad that a little child that hasn't been even brought into the world is being dragged into this storyline, because Velvet wants to get Nature Boy back, and Solar feels like Nature Boy owes him a baby. To me, it's kind of cowardly, but this is what people do. Um, and see, it gives me a better understanding how they ended up over there in the first place, because they allowed Nature Boy to do what Nature Boy did, and now that things didn't play out the way they wanted them to, and they're looking, all bad out in these streets. Now they want to sit up there and throw salt or add extra salt to a wound that we already know was all open. We already know that Nature Boy is not a perfect person or whatever, but Velvet definitely played a role in that relationship, and she knows that if she had the opportunity to have Nature Boy, and I'm gonna say it again, to herself, she would not be up here like Shaka said, capping.